Hi all. Well, as you can see, I'm back in the school office today, and it won't be too long till you all are as well. We are into the easier part of some of the topics we're looking at now, because we're into the area of data, and a lot of that is a little bit nicer. And today's work, frequency polygons, well, it's pips, guys. It really is. It's only rated by Maths Genie as grade 2, but that does not mean that we don't need to cover it. We do, because lots of mistakes often get made. If you're given a frequency polygon question where the frequency polygon's already been drawn, then very few mistakes are ever made. However, very often they ask you to draw one, and you need to draw it at the midpoint. I'm just going to tell you that for starters. Just remember that, because that's the most important thing. And often the other thing is people just forget what the words frequency polygon mean. So that's why we need to go through this today. Before we do that, got a lovely little starter for you. Using the coins that you can get in our United Kingdom today, what do you think is the smallest amount of money that would require more than 5 coins? So to need 6 coins, you could use 6 coins to get 6 pence, but of course you don't need to. You could have a 5 pence and a 1 pence. So that's our little starter problem that we're going to have a little look at. Pause the video by all means and give it a crack right now. Pause the video and give it a go, and then see if you agree with me. So here's our problem. The smallest amount of money needing more than 5 coins. So all of these £2 I can do with 1 coin, can't I? But there's going to be an amount of money that's less than £2 that I need more for. For example, I need 2 coins to make 3. I need 2 coins as well to make 4. So if we just look through the very first few, we need just 1 for 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. To get 8, we need 5 plus 2 plus 1, which is 3 coins. So, and then to get 9, you can do that with the same number of coins. So I'm wondering already whether or not the amount I have may be an 8, because between 1 and 10, 8 is the first one that needs 3 coins, and 9 doesn't need more than 3. Right, so then carrying on, do we need, we know we can just, we don't need to write down everything, do we? I know 11 is going to be 10 plus 1. 14 I could just do, couldn't I? 10 plus 2 plus 2, showing that for 14 it's still only 3. How about 18, considering that was quite a lot? That would be 10 plus 5, wouldn't it? The way to do this, of course, is always to take the biggest coin that you can without going over the top, and then you get the smallest amount that you could have. Plus 2 plus 1, so 3 coins for 17, but 4 coins needed for 18. That's interesting. So will it take 5 for 28 possibly? 20 pence plus 5 plus 2 plus 1. No, it's the same number of coins, because we can get just as close with 1 coin there. What about 38 though? Because there's no 30p coin. Well, you're going to have to add in 1 more coin to get your 30, but then it's still just 3 more to get your 8. So we need a number of 10s that's going to take 3 coins. So 40 is 20 plus 20 equals 40, doesn't it? So I can get 48 with 5 coins as well. 50 we can get with 1. 60 we can get with 2. 70 I can get with 2. 80 is going to take me 50 plus 20 plus 10. So that's taking me 3 to get there, and then I know it takes 3 to get 8. So it looks like it's 88, because if I then add 5 and 2 and 1, I get 88 pence. So what we did there was, I tried to show you the way I hadn't thought my way through the problem before I started talking it through then. So I thought, yes, I'm going to have to do a fair bit of working, and this is showing my working, but I did not work out every single amount that was possible. I thought about what I'd already found. So here's our first question. We've got to draw a frequency polygon from this chart here. Now, what does the word polygon mean? Polygon normally means a shape, doesn't it? With a number of sides. It has to be a minimum of 3, because the most you can close a shape with is 3. But a frequency polygon has got more than one side, but it's not a closed shape. So how would we draw it? Well, there's a couple of ways of doing it. I'm going to do it the long way first of all. If you look at this, if I was to draw a histogram for this, which looks a bit like a bar chart, these are all the same width, so we could do it with frequency as opposed to frequency density, because they're all the same width, all 5 wide. If I was to put bars in from 15 to 20 at 3 high, and then from 20 to 25 at 6 high, this is not a frequency polygon, by the way, but this is a way we could start doing it. And then 7 for the next part, and 4 for 30 to 35. What a frequency polygon would be is a line graph, in effect, that goes from the midpoint of the top of each bar. So then taking a ruler, drawing to there, to there, and to there. Now normally this would be done in pencil, but I've done it in ink just so that it shows up more. And so if you ignore the pencil bits, what we've got in ink is the polygon. And if I then rub out the pencil, that is what we've got there. That is my frequency polygon. On to question 2. So pause the video and give this one a go. This is obviously one that's going to be difficult. If you can't print it off, it's going to be difficult to do. So if you've got some squared paper, then make your own. Do it the best you can would be great. So I'm going to do it the slightly swifter way this time. So because 0 to 10, I go the midpoint of there is 5 and go 14. So 11, 12, 13, 14. Midpoint of 10 to 20 is 15. And I want that to be at 16. Frequency of 23, so 25 minutes, 23. Then 35 minutes will be 29, and 45 minutes will be 12, and 55 minutes will be 6. You may be wondering why we bother with frequency polygons. Why don't we just draw a histogram to show this data? Well, the reason is actually, although we're not doing that here, it's so that you can compare 2 different sets of data. If you imagine this is about 100 people travelling to an event. If you might want to compare how many people travelled to the event the year after. And if this was the year before COVID, the year after would probably be absolutely drastic. It just might not even be anything. So question 3, pause the video and have a crack at this one. 0 to 1 would be 8. This time just be careful when you're looking at oh, hang on, that's 9, that's 8, that's 7, so 8 is going to be just there. So do take a lot of care when you are looking, reading the divisions, because these questions, as I said before, they're easy, but they're also ones which they keep on asking them, partly because people keep on making silly mistakes on them, and that's what you don't want to do. So today's work is all about just practicing being really careful. And notice I've changed the way of doing my crosses. If you do them vertically and horizontally, it's actually easier to be accurate on it. And there's only 2 marks for drawing this, so we want to make sure we get all the marks. So 11, 12, 13, so it's 2 for each, and the last one 5.5, 1, 2, 3, and we're going up 9. Right, and on to the next one. Hold on, not yet. Got to join up our crosses, haven't we? And also notice that the one thing that I don't know if you've spotted that I never do with my frequency polygon is I never draw down to the origin. That's a way you can lose a mark. If I'll get to it in a minute when I get to the last one, it needs to just go. It starts there. If you were to draw a line down to there, a mean marker could take a mark off you. So here's the next one, question 4. Pause the video and have a go at this. There's the table, and at the bottom, see it's going from 140 regularly at intervals of 10 centimeters along the height there. So it's tomato plants. Tomato plants are very, very popular, by the way. I don't know why, but tomato plants seem to come up more often in GCSE questions than any other plant variety, as far as I can see. I suppose we do eat a lot of tomatoes. Big fan of a tomato myself. And a really nice smell. I don't know if any of you have got a greenhouse at home where you may grow a tomato. If you have tomatoes in your greenhouse, it creates a lovely, lovely smell. On to 175 up to 19. Just being careful here because it's 2 divisions for each one on the frequency here. 180 to 189, so that's 1, 5, and we are on 9 again. And then just join those up. And that should give you something that looks like this. Right, now all we're going to do for the rest of today is I'm going to carry on going through the last 3 questions. So as they come up, pause the video and have a go at it. You may need to copy. If you're copying it down, then there's your frequency grid and the frequency polygon. The frequency is going up to 30 at stages of 5 with 10 divisions between each 5, and at the bottom the speed is going up in 20s in terms of kilometers an hour. So have a go at that. I've got 10 at 6 popping in there. Then I'm just going to move it up, so because I've got my 20 to 40. So at 30 I go 17, 16, 17 is going to be just that. 50 and 29. Right near the top, just 2 little squares off the top. 60 to 80, so we are going to be going 70 joining up with 25, 80 to 100, so that's 90, going with 20 is a nice easy one to put in, and 110, 10, 1, 2, and you may think this isn't really worth practicing, but you'd be amazed how many people lose marks doing this. And that is what I don't want you to do, because 1 mark could be the difference of a grade, but also yeah, you can be throwing away marks where you know your understanding is there, and you know that there's going to be some questions on this paper which are, well, they seem almost impossible to get into. So when you find a question that you know you can do, take your time to make sure you get full value of your marks on it. Question 6, about the temperature over 30 days, so over 1 month. Pause the video and have a go at this one. So halfway between 10 and 14 this is a little bit trickier, isn't it? Because we've got 10 divisions for 5, so it's 2 divisions for each one. So 14 will be there. 12 is halfway, so 11. That's 11. That one there is 12, I reckon. And that's only going up 1, and 1 is going to be 2 divisions. On to the next 16 will be 2 divisions beyond there, and we want a frequency of 4, so that's 2 divisions below the 5. 18 to 22, so we want 20, that's easy. 16 is 2 squares above there. 22 to 26, so we want 24, which will be 2 squares before the 25, so 24 against 7, so there's 5, 6, 7. And 26 to 30, halfway of that is 28, so it's going to be 2, so it's 4 divisions back to get to 28, and that's going with 2. And I would encourage you to do as I'm doing and make little marks just to help keep your eye where it needs to be, and that just makes it all the less likely that if you get you get someone marking your work like I'm going to be doing, you've got to make sure you get those spot on, because this is a test of accuracy and taking care. Now my straight line wasn't quite, but because I've got my cross there, I would let you off with that. Right, final question, question 7. Heights in centimeters of some people. This time there's nothing on there, so you need to make your own graph. Now, if you haven't got this paper with you and you're just using squares, make whatever makes sense for you. So I'm thinking that I'm going from, the height is starting at 140 going up to 190, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So that's, oh no, sorry, that's frequency goes up the side, doesn't it? Every time frequency. So make sure you write frequency in. There's 4 marks here, so labelling the axes is part of it. Writing height with centimetres, with the units, is also important. And we're going from 140 to 190, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So that'll have to be 140 there, 150, 160, 170, 180 and 190. And the frequency going up said, well, 34 is the most, so 10, 20, 30, 40 I reckon is going to work easiest up the side. But it doesn't matter exactly what you use, as long as what you do use is consistent. 145 is going to be, we've got 1 little square for each one, so 145 will be there. 7 will be, well, there's 5, 6, 7 just there. 155 going with 25. 165 going with 34. 175 going with 29, and 185 going with 16. And all I want you to upload today, folks, is some evidence that you have had a good go at least one of these, and that you've labelled your axes well and done it accurately. So this would probably be the best one for you to show me, but maybe one or two of the question 6 is also quite a good one, because that's quite tricky to get those in, but whichever one makes more sense to you. And that's it for today. So cheerio everybody, and Friday's lesson will be the next one, won't it? Bye bye.